Fixing the hair while I prepare to go live. Meeting is now streaming. All right. Well, Ishmael should be coming on in just a minute. I never know when it's live, but it must be coming live any second now. So, got Ishmael coming on in a moment. We just had some fun technical difficulties. What else is new? What else is new? So anyway, we will start as soon as he comes on. Mystic Warrior, I believe this is episode 3. Episode 3. So people are coming in. This is fun. The Mystic Arts YouTube channel. Got a lot of cool classes coming up, guys. Come check out the Elemental Magic class. Elemental Magic class starting August 4th, taught by yours truly and Sarah Ashley. Interesting class, going to go over all different kinds of types of magic, from chakra healing to meditations. Here comes Ishmael. Divine masculine, divine feminine. All right, you made it in so far.
I sure did. If there's a
Oh,
will,
man.
there.
That was a close one.
Yeah, I know. I thought I was gonna have to do it the old way again, which was bad camera, bad sounding, bad everything.
Can't go back now. You've
Yep,
had a taste of the good, format, and now you can't go back to that old way.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like driving a piece of shit car for many years, and all of a sudden, driving a nice, fast race car, Ferrari, Corvette, or your car.
Yeah.
Why would you stick to the other car? That's how I felt. I was driving your car. I was like, oh, I got to go get my piece of shit tomorrow.
Yeah. I know. I love it.
You
Um,
want to get right into it? Go
we're
live?
we're actually we're actually live. People are starting to come in.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah, yeah. How are you, man? Let's talk. Let's warm up. A bunch of people are coming on now, and then we'll start taking questions after we just chill for a minute. So, how's your day been? How are you enjoying being the star seed? I call you a rock star seed, because our classes are big, and people seem to really love it.
It's part of my purpose, brother. I'm actually living my dreams. I've always wanted to teach. Even as an 18-year-old, I've always dreamed of being a professor at a university level, teaching the higher level education. And I never thought that I would be teaching the real higher level education beyond the earthly realm educational system. So it's actually a dream for me. It's a
Yeah,
dream that I actually am realizing. I've always wanted to bring forth information, help activate others. And I've always felt like that was my mission here, is to be a
yeah.
leader. But yeah, today's been great. I got a lot done. Um, yeah, things have been, going very well. Just getting a lot done these days. What about yourself? How you been?
I too am living a dream. I got to tell you, man, like starting the Arts has just been a dream come true, because all of these classes are subjects that I love. And I will admit, sometimes I scroll through our own website and I just look at all these classes that we've put together and that we're teaching and that we're making a living off of. And I'm like, damn, you can really have a very first rate life on this planet. You can really like do what you love to do for a living. And it changes your whole psychology, your psyche, your spiritual purpose, like all of it, because you find yourself actually in sync with your divine purpose. And you realize how rare and exceptional that is. And it feels good when you start doing it.
Yep.
Yeah,
That is what they call the five-dimensional ideal life living.
exactly. Exactly. If you see me looking this way a lot, I have 2 monitors. All the comments are on this monitor. So, yeah, people are already saying, make sure you get some rest, Ishmael. Don't burn out.
Well, I promise you guys I will. And I will, also show a picture of my dog or a video of my dog. I know a lot of people have been wanting to see what my dog looks like.
Yeah.
And when you guys hear that, that noise behind in the background, whether it's, clickering or anything, it's my dog. My dog wears a collar that
Yeah.
is, it's got different things. And, every time she moves or she scratches, you could hear her sound. So
Yeah. Yeah. People get really interested in you know, what's going on around you? Where is he? Where does he live? What's his situation like? And they start to piece together all these things from just the different sounds. Sounds like he's by the ocean. I hear a fire siren, you know? Yeah.
Well, I'm always at home. I'm always at
Yeah.
home. So the sounds that you guys hear is just, behind me, my dog, my son, and stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah, you're the only member of the Mystic Art, well, the only person who works in Mystic Arts who hasn't been to my loft. You've been outside my loft, but I live in what I call my spiritual dojo. You know, I have my place all set up. It's a big LA loft with high ceilings, and I have all my workout gear, all my kickboxing gear, but I also have altars everywhere. And then I have a kind of a recording studio editing suite where I make all of these videos complete with like a green screen and all that. So next time you come over, come on up and I'll show you the loft, and you can kind of see where all the magic happens in the mystic arts.
sounds like fun.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Cool. Let's do some.
Questions?
What's that now? You know, someone here, guys, feel free to ask questions. Some questions are coming in right now. Ishmael, were you in the military?
Never. Not in the worldly military. Off-worldly military, yes. Covert programs.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it?
Sure, yeah. I've been involved in what is known, actually, in my division, it's called the 60-year and back. It is a off-world program known as Radiant Guardians, which deals with off-universe into other universes, doing work in other universes, involving the world, the war with AI that's been going on for billions of years. So I've been involved with that. With about 99 other individuals. We didn't have to go through the MK Ultra and all that stuff. We were literally just made in a petri dish. And what they did is it's like genetic editing. They just added all these different genetics from like the best warrior races in the multiverse, and they put them in one spot. And that's how they were able to make this division of Radiant Guardians, which was actually very instrumental in the salvation of many different galaxies and universes beyond our own local universe. So, when you guys watch movies like Avengers and, Captain America, all that stuff is real, guys. All that stuff is very real. These super soldiers exist. And a lot of them are actually waking up now because they're receiving their memories back.
Wow. So you're kind of a cosmic winter soldier.
Something like that. Well, our branch was known as the Ultra Elite Super Soldiers because they ranked us up to over 65% of our full genetic material. At which point we were beyond psychic, we were beyond telekinetic. We were able to actually defy gravity and take off and fly like Superman, and Black Adam and what we see in these DC movies. We were able to harness the power of electricity through our bodies and emanate it at our enemy and foe and destroy them using, our power coming from the elements. We were able to, at times, also teleport, disappear in one part of space and appear in another part of space at will, because we were able to master and manipulate our different, what is known as energy body modulation. We were able to shift the frequency of our location and convert our mass into pure energy, and like an email, just shoot it off and then, rematerializes in our destination fully and complete. So, there's many names for that. People call it teleportation, but it was just part of our abilities. We were like superheroes to the cosmos. We're considered superheroes to the cosmos. So while we're watching, DC movies and Avenger movies, the super soldiers of Solar Ward and Radiant Guardians are actually the real Avengers and DC characters to the many races out there.
Yeah, I feel that. I've always felt that. You and I have talked about that the hero's journey from, 80s action movies to DC and Marvel comic characters when we were kids was just deep inside of us. That those kind of archetypes resonated on a profound level for me. And it's ironic that, oftentimes that happens for the skinnier, more artistic kids, but then that is also the hero origin stories, overcoming adversity and then growing into your divine masculine power through humility and through trials and tribulations. You can't just nobody can snap their fingers and just give it to you. And in this reality, as we both know, it takes blood, sweat, and tears to, have a divine masculine physique. Fitness is a big part of it, and it's difficult. It's not magic.
Exactly. Well, I do work out, I'm not physically, muscularly built because of the programs, but I do tend to maintain, my physical, I guess, agility and stuff through extraneous workouts. I've been into, I guess, fitness and health for many, many years. And
Yeah.
so, that's just part of my daily routine.
Yeah. Yeah. Questions are definitely firing. So, okay, guys, I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm not going to ask questions chronologically. I'm just going to look at the screen. Whatever question comes to me, comes to me. You can always take the Starseed class. There's tons of time to ask questions in there. So, here we go. Do you have any thoughts on electro equoscope machines? Do they raise vibrations? I don't know what electro equoscope is. So,
Ecoscope.
yeah, equoscope.
I wonder if that's that new technology that is able to read electromagnetic fields emanating from people's bodies, or perhaps able to, pierce into your thoughts. I'm not sure. I've never really heard of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Send us an email at the Mystic Arts, Taylor at themysticarts.org, and we'll look further into that. Okay,
Based on what
so
it sounds, that's what I'm assuming.
yeah, yeah. Let's see. Will the gender programming come off of the children who've decided to become? Yeah, let's not tap into gay and lesbian stuff right here. Let's do more starseed stuff. Is it possible for some starseeds to upgrade DNA in humans just by being in their presence?
Absolutely, because your mer energy acts as an activator to anyone, including the Earth newbie souls that are, your average Earth human, or what we consider a normie. So yeah, absolutely. Your energy is contagious. You guys come in with a higher energy influx, so of course it's going to make some sort of a positive effect for others of a lower vibration.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing energy healing in LA, and I'm realizing that, I realized this a while ago, but I'm really feeling it now with this belief in myself and the partner I'm working with, that it's not really the tools and trinkets and rituals and ceremonies that we do. It's actually our own vibratory power that affects the environment or that has the ability to heal people. That said, the tools are a wonderful conduit or channel to really heighten that healing energy, but it's not the source of it. The source of it is the same as any other source: your heart, your mind, your spirit, your emotions, the building blocks of who you are. Let's see. Okay, what will happen on the entertainment aspect of life, such as sports or movies, when we move into 4D and then ultimately 5D? Will it not matter anymore? Okay, by the way, that's a fantastic question, I just want to say.
It is. Um, there is a lot of entertainment in the higher dimensions. All the different advanced civilizations out there, they have these games that they enjoy for fun. So like the Olympics and stuff like that. That exists across the entire universe. Warriorship, the arts of kung fu, martial arts. That's an art that is also recognized through the entire universe. As far as like sports are concerned, I believe they're still going to be there, but it's going to be different. Because see, right now our sports are controlled by the cabal through the Knights of Malta. So they were designed to kind of keep us sidetracked, and pretty much asleep from like the agenda that's been boiling or creeping from behind the scenes. But so that was the original intention for the sporting. So in the new Earth, it's going to be different in a sense where the sports are going to be related to education and what we can learn from these games. So these games are not only going to exist as a way of entertainment, but they're also going to exist as a way to educate you. And people are going to get they're going to get to learn from these experiences, in other words. So it's going to be so much better, and including Hollywood, the entertainment system or industry is also going to totally be different. Music and everything, we're still going to have musicians, we're still going to have people with talents, we're still going to do drama and acting and movies, but it's going to be, again, all for educational purposes. Perhaps the information in my book, Our Cosmic Origin, will be tons of movies made out of that, right? No, I'm just saying, like, it's going to be for educational
Oh, yeah.
purposes. Yeah, so
No,
everything's
no.
going to change in a sense where it's all going to be for the spiritual upliftment and evolution of humanity. It's all going to be progressive and positive. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I come from a huge film background. I've written many movies. I was, an aspiring screenwriter for many years and a film major in school. And as I really stepped into my spiritual awakening and transitioned my whole business kind of into like the family business of occult spirituality, I became less and less interested in movies. And even some of my favorite movies, like, and it doesn't matter. I mean, look, I still love these movies like Bonnie and Clyde and Easy Rider or Fistful of Dollars, some of the Westerns I really liked. But like, I just wasn't connecting as much with the stories, especially if the end goal is just money or just kind of really 3D love, but no like kind of twin flame soulmate type depth to it. And I wasn't judgmental either. I wasn't like, oh, this movie's low vibe and I'm high vibe. It's just more, it's like where I'm at right now. This story, this idea, like this whole premise it's just not it's not where I'm at, and that begs the question, so where am I at? What kind of entertainment reflects that? And there's kind of a hole for our kind of entertainment. Like, what do we want to do at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night to just kind of, space out but not also watch something that just doesn't vibe with us at all. You know what I'm saying? So I guess what I'm trying to say is, what do you do at 8 o'clock at night? What do you do when you want to turn your brain off and you don't really care anymore about the starseed stuff, just, as you're relaxing or whatever it is?
Yep, makes sense. Any other questions?
Oh yeah, I think we got a little cut off. What do you do at night to unwind? Like,
you're asking me a question.
Yeah, I'm asking you specifically. Like, what do you do when you don't want to talk about starseed cosmology? You don't want to talk about spirituality. You just want to like lie in bed and do something. Like, do you read? Do you watch TV? What do you do?
No, I haven't watched TV in over 25 years. So I stopped watching TV at the age of 16, 17. What I tend to do to relax or wind down at night is just sit there in my chair and turn off the lights and just be in the dark and relax my mind. That's all I do.
That's it. How long do you sit in the chair for?
About 30 to 45 minutes in the darkness.
Do you close your eyes?
Yeah, at times I just close my eyes and lean my head back and just chill and have no thoughts. I'm just there, just clear-headed.
Wow, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it's a form of meditation. In the mornings, I do my Kriya, which is my Kriya Kundalini, which is one of the techniques that I teach at the end of our third class. But the reason I do that in the mornings is because Kriya also gives you natural energy for the day. It stimulates the chakras. It stimulates the rise of Kundalini energy from the base of the spine up the chakras. So it gives that natural flow, that constant endorphin kicking in and all that stuff, serotonin, all those good chemicals, which is one of the many benefits of Kriya Kundalini yoga. But at nighttime, I do it differently. I do it more to like wind down and relax and just kind of sit there and just, think nothing.
Just be.
Think nothing. Yeah.
Like a plant or just tranquil.
Tranquil, yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like all day long I'm doing interviews. All day long, I'm either writing or I'm either reading and doing some other research. So it's like I'm always using my brain from 4:30 in the morning till about 7, 8 at night sometimes, and then it's like, so at that point I just want to like unwind, and just kind of like shut my brain off like a computer, right? Put it on like what is it called? Sleep mode?
Yeah, me too, man. Sarah Ashley will tell you, I sometimes call her as early as 4:30 in the morning because like you, I'm awake and my brain is active and my brain doesn't turn off until around 7:30, 8 o'clock. And then after 8, there's nothing. Like I'm done. It's like game over until the next day. But as Sam said, oh my God, my kids think I'm so weird he does the same thing as you, just sits in a chair. I do not just sit in a chair. I definitely will watch, I'll lie in bed, just kind of watch YouTube videos, whether it's spiritual based or just total junk food videos. But like after 8 o'clock, I'm like, I just need, kind of very little substance. There's somebody asking, you mentioned Kundalini. So there's a question here. Is there an association with Kundalini to an awakening? Is this a major download? What are your thoughts on this?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you could manage to raise your Kundalini energy all the way up to the crown chakra and activate that and activate the what is called the Antakarana, the silver core that connects your chakras to the core of the what is called the galaxy and the core of the earth, you're golden. That's the activation of the light body. That's turning on the other 96% of your brain power.
Yeah.
If you could do that, then please do. You're going to have access to amazing powers.
Yeah, yeah. I think both of us believe that chakra alignment is truly the key to, our 5D awakening experience and our really activating as much of full human potential as we can get, before some kind of, intervention or something, before a solar flash or before 5D ascension. Someone else says, there's a lot of questions, guys. Oh, how many people are in the Starseed class? Ishmael and my classes have 100 people each. And then, Sarah and mine, usually it's 30 plus people in those classes. So come on in, there's space for all. Every time the classes fill up, we add more. So if you ever go onto the Mystic Arts page and everything's full, wait about 5 minutes and there'll be new classes added. So let's see. Okay, we got some good stuff here. Okay, I'm in NYC, surrounded by toxicity. Is it okay to think that even if I'm full of toxins, with prayers and meditation alone, can I elevate, maybe decalcify the pineal gland? I'll already say yes, but I'll let you answer that one too.
I agree. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, thought is the most powerful form of healing energy there is. Thought, focus, will, and intention. That's what I teach in my magic class. And emotions are the core of focus, will, and intention. So you get your thoughts, your emotions straight, and you can really manifest anything. It doesn't matter what the circumstances or the adversity is.
Well said.
Thank you. 144,000, I think, take the class for that. A lot of people are asking about the 144,000. We dive deep into it in the class. If we want to give a quick spoiler alert, there are more than 144,000 people that will make it. Is it fair to say that at this point?
Yeah, that are considered the saviors of mankind, the chosen ones. So it's in the millions, and most of them are adults, and a lot of them are children that are coming in now in the numbers as well.
Yeah.
So the indigo race is multiplying on the face of the earth, which is a huge indicator that we're shifting ages.
Yeah. And guys, how we go from 144,000 to millions, I just got to say, just come take the class and we get into that in detail, and you can ask Ishmael questions on that directly in there. But that is a big part, I believe, of class. Actually, that's class 1 where we cover that, so you don't even have to wait too long. Okay, we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. I like that. There's more to that statement, but I want to come back to that in just a minute, because I think a lot of people, especially in the Starseed community, want to kind of look past the human experience and think that it's all about moving on to a different dimension, and that this mortal coil is just kind of a inconvenience on our way to somewhere better. But I'll read her whole statement and then we'll both come to that. Okay, so we are all spiritual beings, have a human experience, and mankind must learn to raise their consciousness so that they vibrate at a higher frequency. This will allow you to connect your higher self. We agree.
Yeah, she's right. She's right on that. But it's also about multidimensional integration and integrating your unseen parts with your seen parts. So it's about, integrating your spirit with your form. And that's what actually upgrades your body. That's what activates dormant DNA.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, we got a fear of being a draco here because they're Rh positive blood. I don't know much about blood. I know you know a lot about it. So is this person a draco with Rh positive blood?
Rh positive or negative?
It says Rh pos blood, so I'm assuming that is positive.
All right, so everybody that is Rh positive has the rhesus monkey protein, which means that they have the primitive gene, and that's about 87% of the world population. The 13%, on the other hand, they don't have the rhesus monkey gene. They have what is known as Rh negative, which is negative rhesus monkey, and those are the people that have a pure, undiluted blood that you could actually trace back to the Nibirians, the Pleiadian Nibirians that were here on the earth, or the Seraphim. Now, there is a difference between those that are Rh negative that come from the Seraphim bloodline of the angels, to those that come from the Draco line of Lucifer. So, for instance, the people in power, those that are associated with the Cabal, they are also Rh negative, but that's because their blood comes from the Draco, which is also off-world. So Rh negative means that it comes from off-world. It's not native to this planet. So the elites have Rh negative, but it's because of the Draco. They are the descendants of Lucifer. The star seeds and the 144,000 that are down here, who are also Rh negative, it's because they come from the direct line of the seraphim or of the angels. In other words, the lineage of Michael.
Hmm. Yeah, and we talk about in the class, guys, not all Dracos are evil, okay? It's a big percentage of them, but just being Draco does not mean you were, demonic Luciferian evil entity.
Yeah, I think it's rather 2 or 3% of the Dracos that throughout the Galactic Wars have decided to join the light and defect against the dark side.
Yeah.
And so those that are in that 3% had an opportunity to incarnate on the earth in human bodies as well because of their conversions to the light. So they were able to inherit the atoma, which is the humanoid body.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts, as per a question here, what are your thoughts on cannabis and shrooms and that in its relation to the ascension process?
They're just tools. They're just, tools that you could use to get there, but in moderation, of course. I wouldn't be shrooming or enjoying cannabis, all day long on a daily basis. But if you guys could do it in moderation, some people need cannabis because their mind just operates at a very high speed, and that's their way of kind of, bringing it down to an earthly level so they could function with others. But everyone's made differently, so there's no judgment there. Just know that whatever you guys do, as far as like anything that might assist you into getting into that state of mind, just do it in moderation and only do it for spiritual purposes. Only do it for spiritual purposes. Kind of like the shamans and the Native Americans who would, pass around the peace pipe as they would smoke, but they would smoke in relationship to their spiritual, invocation that they were involved in, or whatever it is that they were trying to do, open up, go into the next realm, go into an alternative state of consciousness or an alternative reality through these substances. So they had a spiritual divine reason for doing it.
Yeah, the key word there, moderation. Do not allow this to become something that you're dependent on in order to get there. Like daily, like, oh, I'm going to meditate, so I'm going to, smoke a bowl and then meditate every single day. It's like, hey, man, do that, for fun here and there occasionally. But if that's your only connection to the divine or to the meditative ascension process, then, you're not doing the work. You're not like learning how to do it on your own. You're dependent on a tool to get there. And that kind of harkens back to what I was saying earlier about energy clearing. The power is not in the tools that you use. It's the power is in your focus, will, and intention that you set first within yourself. So, don't become dependent on a substance for that. But that said, I've done a lot of, what's that?
And above all, don't become externally dependent on any sources, anything outside of yourself, anyone, any circumstances.
Yeah.
Always seek the answers from within.
Yep. And I've done a lot of psychedelics in my life, so that's a no judgment statement. It's just that, the dependency on that is not the answer to getting into that higher state of consciousness. Okay, so let's see here.
Suffice to say, I just wanted to throw it out there because a lot of people think that I do acid because of how I think and stuff and what I talk about. But I've never done, been involved in medicine, plant medicine or anything. I've never done peyote, shrooms, and nothing. I think I've only tried acid a couple of times when I was in high school, and that's it. Other than that, I've never had an opportunity to go do some plant medicine or mushrooms or anything. I'm like, in other words, I'm like this naturally, guys.
Yeah. Do you think doing acid in high school opened some mental gateways for you?
Oh no, it actually did the opposite.
Yeah, it scared you?
Yeah, because I ended up taking. Okay, well, the thing is, I'm already automatically there. My mind is already times able to operate at a higher level of consciousness. So when I took that tab, my brain couldn't take it. It was just too much to the point where my body stopped functioning. I don't know what ended up happening, but all I remember was waking up in the emergency room, and they were using the shocks, the electroshocks, to bring me back to life. And I do remember leaving my body and just seeing them as I was hovering over myself, seeing the doctors and the nurses saying, "Okay, let's get him back." So I think I might have OD'd on LSD, and ever since then. And of course, they brought me back,
Whoa.
Ever since then, I've never done it again. That was it, man. It was the second time, and that was it. Yeah, the first time it was all right. It wasn't as potent, but the second time, I think I was already in a heightened state of consciousness, and it just kind of took me, over the hill. But yeah, overall, I've never done it ever since. I haven't done it ever since, and I just choose not to.
It's a really bad fucking trip, dude. The defibrillator and everything, huh?
Yeah, but that wasn't the only time when I died. I've been in a really bad car accident to the point where they had to use the claws of life to
Yeah.
open up the car, at least rip the top open to even try to find me under gravel. So that was just not fun either. So I've died and come back a few times, not just once. But anyways, those are different stories.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, this is free platform if you want to dive into it, but it's up to you. Let's do a fun question. I don't know what your thoughts are on this. I feel like the question's a little silly, but someone's asking about Sasquatch. So, the origin of the Sasquatch, are they multi-dimensional? Most seem peaceful, some are very aggressive. So let's branch this question out a little bit to anomalies and things like that. Loch Ness monster, maybe even like paranormal activity and all that. What are your thoughts on all of that stuff? Glitch in the Matrix type stuff. I'll let you answer. I think you get it.
Yeah, the Sasquatch are real. They're an extraterrestrial race. They're actually very highly intelligent. When I think of a Sasquatch, I think of like Jabuka from Star Wars. Jabuka,
Yeah.
Han Solo's partner.
Yeah,
But
of course.
the Sasquatch are very, very real, and they do exist, by the way. They exist both in the surface world, deep in the forest, in the mountains, and they also exist in the inner earth. And I believe that some of them, go from back and forth. They go to the surface world, and then through a portal, they go back into the inner world. But the Sasquatch is very real. Otherwise, AKA known, right? Bigfoot, AKA Bigfoot.
So what starseed race? Are they Arcturian or something?
They actually come from the Yeti, YETI lineage, which is off-world as well. They're part of the star race known as the Yetis. The Yetis.
All right, that is interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe we should add that new star race to our cosmology course to see if anybody identifies with a Yeti.
Yeah.
Any star seeds they feel like there were Yetis in a prior lifetime.
Hey, you and I are both tall. Maybe we were in our former life.
Well, not the Yetis are very hairy, so maybe more you than me. I'm hair. I don't have as much hair as you do, Taylor.
Yeah, I don't. I'm pretty light actually. It's just in my face. That's all. Let's see. How can people recreate for the following day? I don't actually. I'll admit I don't understand that. How can people recreate? Oh, recreate a day for the following day. Does that make sense to you? It doesn't. That is the question, but it doesn't make sense.
Well, I'm assuming that they're asking like how do we set the intention for the next day every day? Well, that's all about being in the moment, in the presence. In the presence, be aware of what you're doing, and also learn to use your imagination to visualize the type of reality you want to experience, the type of things that you want in your life, the type of people that you want to associate with, and seal it with faith. And also use your emotions to feel what it's like to have all of that and see what happens.
Yeah. Focus, will, and intention. We're going to keep coming back to that. Oh, this is interesting. Will we be, well, actually, it's a statement. So let me just read it verbatim. We will be immortal, but yet live 300 to 500 years in 4D, 2,000 years in 5D. What happens then? We won't die, so we ascend, or what's going to happen? So I assume you're going to talk about how in the higher dimensions our lifespan just increases when we're at a, lighter density. But you go ahead and answer.
Sure. So in 4D, intelligence has lived for a few hundred years, which is better than now. Okay. So in 5D, and then if they do happen to die after a few hundred years, they actually, depending if they ascend or not, because if they ascended, then they inherit a fifth dimensional body, which would allow them to live for a few thousand years. An intelligent person that lives in the sixth dimension actually lives for about 80 to 100,000 years. So the more you go up in dimensions, the more immortal you become as well. So I think that all the way up until the 12th dimension, that's when we live forever and we never die. And that is the level of the creator gods.
Wow.
At that level of reality, then you become a creator. You actually get to facilitate your own creation and become your own overseer, developer of your own universe.
Right.
And we're all heading there, by the way. Every single one of us is destined to become a creator, son, and daughter of light to new coming universes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a matter of time, but time not in the limitations as we know it now, but it's more in the process of the evolution of the soul and how much you learn in that process and how long it takes you to get where you get to the top of that dimensional chain, essentially. So,
Well,
what you do.
it's also reaching the realms of eternity because you have the finite realms, which deals with the creations within the time space matrix of the local universes, and then you have the middle realms, the midway realms, which are is the link between the finite realms and the infinite realms, right? And then, of course, you have the infinite realms, which have always existed without beginning or end. So eventually, we're all destined into ascending into the infinite realms, especially with these bodies that were designed for us. These are actually the only bodies in the existence of all cosmos that have the capacity and capability of going beyond the 12th dimension into the realms of infinity. And that's why many races covet our DNA.
Wow. You're talking about human bodies?
Yeah, absolutely. Our human bodies are the most advanced quantum living biological vehicles that have ever been designed for high level soul embodiment to come into.
Wow. Quite the temple we are embodying here then.
Absolutely. And that's why we're only using like 4%. If we were to use more than 4%, Taylor, we would be like, have you seen that movie Lucy with
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah.
You notice how as she goes up in increments, she has more abilities, more powers, to the point where she's able to actually stop time and control space and matter with her mind.
Right.
So
Right.
we're all heading there. We're all heading there. And that is the beauty of that is the gift that lies within our genetics as we use more genetic material and potential.
Incredible. Incredible. Okay, I have a question from someone in our Starseed class who asked it in the class right as their phone died, so she did not hear our answer. Okay, so I was in one of the classes, and when I asked a question about the beings made up of pure light, my phone died, and I didn't hear the answer. Please, who are they? Who are the beings of pure light, she says, in all capitals, with lots of hearts.
There's various beings of pure light. Those are what you call nine-dimensional collectives and up. Once we go beyond the nine-dimensional collective, when you try to appear to somebody at our level of reality, they appear to be just light beings. They still have a torso with the head and arms and legs, but they're made out of light. So that is, it could be Arcturians, it could be, Azurites, it could be I'm just naming a few, but it could be
Yeah.
any of those higher dimensional collectives. And however, once we reach their level of reality, then they become as physical as you and me, and then you could see their eyes and their skin and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
but from a very low level perspective of reality, all those that are very high up, beyond the ninth dimension, just appear as pure light because they're embodying bodies that are beyond crystalline. These are bodies that are more like hydroplasmic diamond. They're made out of diamond type of structures. So that's why they appear to be very, glittery and just full of light.
Wow. And that begins, you said, beyond the ninth dimension.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How do you know if you have activated your Kundalini?
It starts off with lower back pain. If you are experiencing recurrent back pain, especially in your lower back, then that means that your Kundalini energy is going up. You would also feel some sort of pressure behind your neck as it moves up through your neck. You feel a sense of pressure in your third eye chakra because it's activating it, it's opening up. In other words, it's decalcifying it. And then you're also going to feel some pressure here as it starts to activate your crown chakra in order for you to access Christ consciousness, which is your higher self. So those are symptoms that you're actually raising the Kundalini energy. Yeah, and also a sense of heightened ESP. So if you're already an intuitive empath, it's just going to increase those abilities even further, where you're actually going to be reading people's thoughts, and you're going to have amazing psychic abilities if that's what you're doing.
Yeah. Yes, psychic abilities are interesting because they, I believe, are very natural to most people. And it's interesting in how many classes We have the mystic arts where people open up their statement with, "I'm not psychic, but I have a question," and it's like right away that lack mentality, or that limiting statement is one of the biggest reasons why they're not able to access that skill. You know, all you have to say is I am psychic, and then right away you will start to feel something. I'm not saying it'll be Sylvia Brown overnight, but you will start to feel some kind of clairvoyant connection with things the moment you acknowledge that you are and start tapping into that. Focus, will, and intention, guys. Once again, focus, will, and intention.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, unconditional love. Someone says mantras help you stay in the present, and using I am presence. Yeah, I am language is very strong. I am, I have, speaking in the present tense, willing things into existence through the present tense is very, very powerful.
Yes, and always say it as if you already have it or already there. You know, don't say it like I want. Say I am, I have, I will, I declare, I invoke.
Yeah.
Because your words are powerful, and the entire host of heaven are there waiting to assist you. Everybody's born with like a crew of angels, so they're all working for you. All you got to do is use the power of your thoughts and your intention, your focus, to direct them, and they'll do things for you.
Right. Yeah, I say the gods are always watching us. The gods are, and I don't even mean that in a strange way. I just mean the gods are always with us. They want to be activated. We are their three-dimensional vessel that is able to. They want to assist us in our journey. That is their job. You know what I mean? And it's like we need to take advantage of that. The universe is one big reciprocal mechanism, essentially, if you know how to tap it right. And all you have to do is you have to ask for what you want with specificity, with clarity, but then you also have to be able to do the work to follow that up. But if you do those two things in unison, you will get what you want. You will. You truly will. The universe wants to give it to you, but it wants you to just know that you really want that. Does that make sense?
Because technically the universe is you. You are the universe. So of course the universe wants you to be, happy and live in your life's purpose. Because when you do that, you're in alignment with your higher self. So
yeah.
But yeah, the universe has your back. You just have to learn how to, use your power.
Yeah. Yeah. This is just a fun statement. Rebecca would like to star in the Cosmic Origin movie.
Well, a lot of people have been asking me that I should make movies out of some of those concepts and revelations, especially about the Galactic Wars.
Yeah.
It's like it could almost read like a soap opera when you think about it.
Well, it's Game of Thrones in space, Yeah. Somebody asked, are psychics the same as intuitive? So I have a quick answer to that, and I'll let Ishmael answer. So to me, they're coming from two different places. Being a psychic is drawing into higher-minded, higher cosmic energy. Being intuitive is drawing from lower base primal survival instincts. So one of the biggest differences is being an intuitive is using the information that's available to you. When you walk into a room, how do you feel about the other people in there? How do you feel about the objects in there? How do you feel about the vibe of the room? That's intuition. Psychic energy is you see a stranger on the street and you start drawing things from an entirely different dimension, a different stream of consciousness, a different realm that's coming from a higher place that has nothing to do with the particular vibe of the person. You know what I mean? So what's your answer to that? But I always see intuition is coming from a lower place and psychic energy is coming from a higher place.
I think you nailed it. That's exactly how it works. Intuition is something that we feel when we're reading vibes, when we sense things before they happen. Having psychic abilities is, learning to actually tap into people's energy and learning information about those people without even meeting them,
right,
or feeling things before they happen and having that sense of prophecy where you always, when you have the gift of prophecy, it's part of being psychic, whether you're clairvoyant, whether you could see things that others can't, whether you are clairsentient or you could hear things that other can't, or whether you are clairaudient. Clairsentient is feeling, clairaudient is hearing. So, and then some people have all three. So if you have all three, then you are definitely above an intuitive. You, at that point, you could, use your abilities for good. I hope that's the case, because you could, at that level of using your consciousness, you're pretty much, connected to the telepathy of everyone. You could pretty much read people's minds.
Yeah, which comes to an interesting statement. Are the gods ascended masters like Jesus, Buddha, Mora, probably Moria, and Horus too, I would add in there. But yeah, are the gods ascended masters?
Yes, because they went through the same procedure that we're all going through right now. So right now the opportunity is being offered for Earth to ascend, and right now it's going to be a collective ascension. So many millions of us are going to become like the Christ, are going to become like the Buddha, like all these other beings that have done it before us. We're next, and that's the true meaning of the return and the second coming. It's us activating the Christ mind.
Yeah, the office of the Christ. We talk about that in the Starseed course. Okay, so someone says intuition is your higher self. And once again, I disagree. I think psychic energy is your higher self. I think intuition is your lower self. But it's just semantics.
There's a connection there, Taylor. There's a connection. So people that are intuitive could develop that intuition and enhance it and become more psychic.
Exactly.
So it works together. It's your internal guidance system. It is your own spirit guiding you.
Yeah.
And protecting you, of course.
And at the end of the day, it's hard to describe these things anyway. These things are kind of beyond labeling. They're definitely not worth arguing over, because how we channel is very different for different people. So these are just gifts. These are wonderful gifts. Let's see. So I have an extreme sense of smell, fear, happiness, concern, all that smell. Yeah. Sense of smell is definitely one way to channel also. Let's see. There's a lot of stuff here I want to make sure we get to. When we ascend, wonderful question. When we ascend, what happens to our family if they don't ascend? And we'll just extend that to all loved ones, boyfriend, girlfriend, friends, all of that.
Well, I talk about the fourth dimension. Let's not forget that, many of the people in the earth that are not starseeds are actually going to go through the dimensional process. So they have to go through the fourth dimension. So if they don't ascend into the fifth dimension, like yourself, say if you're a starseed, you go into the fifth dimension, you're still going to be able to interact with your loved ones in the fourth dimension. So yeah, it's going to be a type of reality where at will, you're going to be able to kind of like pop into their dimension and interact with them. But they're going to be seeing you more like as angelic when you do pop into their reality, of course, because you come from a higher level of reality. So yeah, you're still going to interact with your loved ones, because as long as they're not like wicked or evil, then you don't have to worry about them not making at least the fourth dimension.
Yeah, and to put it another way, where we're going will transcend a fear of loss and ego loss, ego disintegration. Like where we're ultimately going is a much higher plane of existence and a much more fulfilling state of being, and we're not going to have those same earthly anxieties or what I mean. It's like we're not going to feel that way when we get to this different place. We're going to be happy for what we have, and everyone who's supposed to be with us will be with us.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Do a few more here. Just got to scroll back up a little bit. Okay, I've experienced dizziness and rigidity in my body. Does that mean that the body is starting to ascend or accept the solar flash and be eradicated? So I think they're wondering if they're like on their way up or on their way down.
Well, to me, it sounds like they're having ascension symptoms, which is normal. Your body's going through a transformational procedure. You're going from a cocoon into a butterfly. Right now, we're in the stage of the cocoon. Everyone is.
Okay. All right. So if the Akashic records are correct, then they're possibly responsible for dumping the Draco here. I don't understand that connection between what do the Akashic records say about dumping the Draco here, or do you understand that?
Well, it is believed, according to this information that's recently been resurfaced here on the Earth, that the origin of the Draco came from a different universe. That, in fact, the Draco were actually dropped off here in the Orion system, in the Rigel, Thuban, Alpha Draconis star systems by the AI billions of years ago, in order to bring tons of suffering and just bad living conditions to this galaxy in preparation for handing this galaxy over to the AI overlords that the Draco have been working for. So that could be the case. Many people do believe that the Draco were literally dropped off here because that AI itself didn't have access to our galaxy. It was forbidden by the higher councils of the central race of the Mother Universe, because of the fact that this Earth has always been really, really carefully guarded. So I would say that that's the reason probably why they dropped off the Dracos. It was their way of having them do their work here while they were shut off from our galaxy system, our galactic system.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, let's just do one final question. Is that good for you?
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see, I already asked that one. That's a good question though about curious Ishmael. Oh, do you speak Lyran light language? Answer that. I'll find a better question. But Ishmael, do you speak Lyran light language?
No, but I do understand it, and I also connect telepathically with the lions, the feline races, and the commanders.
Okay, I've seen only because a lot of people have been asking about the blue Evian.
Blue
I'll,
Evians.
what's that?
The Blue Evians are part of the Raw Collective.
Okay.
It's composed of various members beyond the eighth dimension. So we have the Blue Evians, which are also known as the Amorites. We have the Antones. We have the Brigidettes, and then the highest level of those groups is known as the Azurites. The Azurites are like right underneath the central race. Yeah, the Azurites are really high up there.
Very cool.
And these are groups or collectives beyond our galaxy, by the way, beyond the Pleiades, beyond the, Syrians and the Andromedans and all that stuff, Arcturians.
Oh, okay, I think I found the question to end it on because this is, I'm going to read this statement here and I want to hear your thoughts on this. She says, then technically we are not immortal if we're going to die in each dimension. Can we avoid dying and ascend before our time is up in each dimension?
Yes. Yeah, well, we don't, once we go into the fourth dimension, we don't see death as we do here in the third dimension anymore. We actually see it as a transition from one reality to the next. So the opportunity that's going to be afforded for those that are in the fourth dimension in the millennium, in the golden age, is that people from the fifth dimension are going to be their teachers. So they're going to teach them how to, ascend without dying. So some of the people in the fourth dimension are going to take that opportunity and actually transform their body into a fifth dimensional, crystalline DNA structure, which will allow them to live for thousands of years. But even within the fifth dimensional reality, the fifth dimensional people are still going to do further work so that they could eventually reach the sixth dimension without death. So that's part of the ascension process. Some get to do it naturally. They just transform their body to the next dimension without tasting death. And then some of them just leave their body and come back until they learn how to do it the right way. So ultimately, no soul is going to be left behind. Every soul is destined to reunite and ascend the ladder of spheres and degrees until they reunite with Prime Creator Source.
That is a perfect place to end it, guys. So, yeah, you can find Ishmael and I. Obviously, we're out there on Instagram. You can book our classes at themysticarts.org. On August 4th, we have the Elemental Magic class coming up. And then Ishmael and I are constantly creating new Starseed Cosmology classes. The next round that is open begins November 2nd. But I do post, usually before the class starts, a couple days before the class starts, 2 or 3 people usually cancel. So I post the classes for about 45 minutes here and there to get people in. So if you ever want to know if you can get into a class in August or September, contact me. There may be a cancellation, so just let me know. But otherwise, so November 2nd for Starseed Cosmology, August 4th for Elemental Magic. And Ishmael, I will let you close us out.
Thank you for being here, everyone. Love answering all your questions. And just to understand that we're all a team. We're all meant to work together. Every single one of you guys contains a piece to the whole. And yeah, that's it. Just we'll see you guys next time, and have a beautiful evening.
Yep.
Or morning, depending on where you're at.
Yeah.